Welcome to Who Sucks More, the game show brought to you by the Chris and Andre Show. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our new favorite segment on the Chris and Andre Show, Who Sucks More. In this segment, we take two people or two things or two companies. I don't know. I guess things kind of encompasses everything, so I could have stopped there.
It's got to be two.
Yeah, but it's got to be two, because the question is, between the two of them, who sucks more, right? Like, yeah, there might be positive things about them. Yeah, maybe they do some good in the world, but we all know shit sucks, especially right now. And so the question that we're going to ask today is, between cancel culture and bro culture, who sucks more?
Whoa, what do you mean? What do you mean bro culture? You mean like dude bro culture? Like
dude bro culture.
Like the chest bumping, like
frat boy.
Jersey wearing?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant like this rising masculinity workshop culture that's happening. Like bros trying to teach other bros to be bros and stop letting women walk on them.
I mean, I think that's part of it.
It's not. Yeah. It's not. It sounds like it is, but it's actually like, it's very like...
There's too many
touching.
cultures, man.
It's like a Fight Club meet...
it's not Fight
like
Club, because if it was a
healing.
Fight Club, you wouldn't talk about it.
All right, so
that's why I said like.
Okay, so let's go, because we're gonna pontificate over like what bro culture is.
Your head is just meanful, man. I can't keep up. I'm glad I got that shirt for you.
Yeah,
that's good for you.
That's right. All right, so cancel culture. We'll put that one up first. Andre, I'll let you start this one off. I know you're a big fan of cancel culture. You like
Love
to
it.
cancel everything. Hopefully the Chris and Andre show is up next. Hopefully we get canceled at some point so we can actually become famous. Like, apparently that's what you got to do. You got to get canceled
like
and then
Will
you
Smith,
become famous.
Yeah, cancel culture is stupid. Cancel culture
is it relevant even? Is it relevant?
It's not even relevant. Cancel culture, I've always called it the illegitimate stepchild of like the culture that was in the during the civil rights movement, where you actually boycott something, right? Well, for some reason, it seems so classy and so in step to say you're canceled. Nobody's ever going to mess with you again, and unfortunately, that's not the case. Every company that gets canceled, for the most part, well, more than 90% of them get more popular once they've been canceled.
Especially within a certain subgroup, right, of their... Like, they may lose some people, but then they ultimately are gaining more on another side of it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I think that the premise behind cancel culture is a ripoff of boycotting, but I do believe there is a certain sense of nobility to what the spirit should be. If somebody screws up, you basically stop giving them your money, stop giving them your attention. You don't need the people to co-sign for that. It just sounds stupid. I really just feel like if you don't rock with something, don't rock with it. Stop trying to get everybody else to co-sign to validate your opinion. So that's how I feel about cancel culture.
Joe, what are your thoughts on cancel culture?
I think it started as a good intention to like fight back against corporations or just greedy people who are manipulating the system, and it went from that to, oh well, I hate this guy too, so let's go jump on him. And then when they started doing, let's look 12 years in the past, your Twitter feed, and then take that thing out of context and then be like, you're a horrible person, you're like a Nazi sympathizer, stuff like that. That's when I'm like, no, we're going way too far with this. There's some good people getting hurt right now, because you can't judge somebody on the past. Like, you can't judge them on their history 12 years ago. The world was completely different. There wasn't an OnlyFans.
You can if they still have the same behaviors, right?
Yeah, that's what I was
going to say. But not all of them
do,
though. That's what I'm saying. Not all of them do.
No,
there's been some good...
That's a good point. I think that you have... I mean, look, I am a firm believer in people like deserve a second chance, right? Like, just because you messed up once doesn't mean that you should be excluded from society for the remainder of your life. Jesus Christ, Joe.
All right.
Double barreling over here.
We're going to like take away your toys, dude, because you're like acting like a 3-year-old.
Hey man, this is my only downtime. I'm loving this. Somebody gave me this and they knew exactly what was going to happen.
No, but I think like Joe made a good point that it went from like a, what felt like kind of a natural progression from boycotting. This is really like both of you, I think, made a good point on this, to a I don't like this person, so now I'm going to convince everybody else to also not like this person. And I think like the element of feeling like you need people to validate your opinion on somebody and co-sign on the fact that we're not going to mess with this person anymore, and then immediately start lumping people who don't sign on to that canceling into some other group. I mean, like, I'll be honest.
It polarizes.
I was a little worried when we had our stuff about Dave Chappelle, and we were kind of like, yeah, I don't think that what he said was really all that wrong. People were out here trying to cancel Dave Chappelle, and
no, that's okay. We have Andre. We're safe.
It's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
Black that was the case.
Too. No. But in reference to cancellations, obviously, have you guys been in touch with what's going on with the Flash right now?
Yes.
Yeah, with Ezra Miller.
Yeah, and that's another one.
So that guy's a historical asshole. Like he definitely needs to control his liquor, but I don't think he needs to lose his entire career over it. I think he should go to.
He got arrested for a bar fight, right?
Yeah.
Who cares?
A bar fight. What else are you going to do at a bar?
Well,
yeah, who cares?
I mean, like, I'm not somebody that is pro bar fight. But
pro fight club.
But I do agree that I think like ultimately the point should not be that we're like I come back to this element of like, you know, who are we to judge these people ultimately? You know, like it's fine for you as an individual to have your opinion on it and to say like, you know what, Kanye, you kind of acted up. I'm not gonna mess with you anymore. But to then take it to the next level of like anybody who messes with Kanye, you know, is a piece of shit, or you know, like they're cut out of my life. Like, you know,
what gets me is when cancel culture turns into like pseudo consumer rights rhetoric, and I'm like, you can't get those two you can't really connect those two, but a lot of people are starting to do that.
Well, it goes to the original.
Like, I'll stop buying all like DC stuff whatsoever just because I don't like what this one actor was picked to do this.
Right.
I mean, we know somebody who was that naive, who was almost like that for a bit.
I think that I think we're all saying the same thing. To be honest with you, it's just a matter of, if there's a legit reason, but I'm not going to sit here and throw stones from my glass house.
Yeah.
And
unless your glass is like triple reinforced bulletproof glass,
or
even that
hurricane.
Because then that rock is coming right back at you.
So let's go to bro culture.
Close the window.
Chris, you start with bro culture.
Oh, bro. I don't even know where to start with this one, because I do think, like, Joe brought up a good point at the beginning. Like, how do you really define bro culture? But I think, like, it's that, I don't know, would you say, like, toxic masculinity to some degree? I know, like, that's kind of a buzzword.
You know what I think it is? I'll wait to me, because I have a very simple answer.
Well, then I'll let you start it then.
I think bro culture, whether it's tech bros, finance bros, it's just like silly white boy shit. It's like they get it. Hear me out.
You're not wrong.
No.
You're not wrong. I don't see many Latinos getting on there doing that kind of stuff.
Hear me out.
It's getting defensive.
I know. I'm not saying every white person. I'm just saying it's silly white boy shit. And this is why. These are the same guys that join a frat because they weren't considered on the in crowd, right? They go out and get a career, and they spend all this time like trying to smash, trying to get a rep, trying to get more popularity. And you start to roll that up.
When you say smash, you're referring to sexual content, right?
No, playing Super Smash Brothers.
That's disgusting.
And it's just like
you should not scorekeep like that.
It's this whole identity crisis culture that's typically found amongst people that just weren't cool when everybody was looking.
But why is that only white people?
Because I didn't say only white people. I said specifically white boy shit. Like, I didn't say.
So why is it white boy?
Because
you go to YouTube,
like,
and
you guys
will
all go buy your Patagonias. You'll all go like you have like a uniform.
Whoa.
You guys are the conformist group when it comes to stuff like that. And
it's not Andre. Tell him.
Even outside the norm of like what's considered acceptable society, you look at the Proud Boys. You look at the kids, the Tiki Torch boys. The conformity of this whole, like, we've got to band together for like the sake of 1% of people's thoughts. It's just,
now we all have to get carded when we get Tiki Torches.
it's the whole the white males are being like discriminated against.
Yeah.
In what context, right? So I think that whole term, the bro culture, is just like, unfortunately,
on this podcast,
it does
clearly abuse one of them.
It does pigeonhole, or does kind of point the finger a lot at Caucasian males, and I think it's kind of sad. I mean, there's no individuality. It's a big groupthink type of mentality, and you pick what it is. But I can just see it from college, because hell, one of my sons was in a frat for like a year, and the reason I was like, dude, are you sure you want to do that? The reason he got out was exactly what he's like, Dad. That's just, it's all like, it's corny.
It is.
So
grab ass.
Yeah. So
that too.
Yeah, so it just like as people get older, they make a little bit more money, and the ideas stay the same in just a different arena. You just have the same crap. But
so I guess like I think you're right in that there is a perpetuation of these like seldom held beliefs, right? Like it's something that doesn't really find its way outside of that bro culture. But because of the way that they have found, like, to make people feel like they're part of a group, it's almost like a cult in that way, where then as they get older, they don't grow out of these ideologies, right? Like, that's something you would expect. Like, as we age, we get more experience, we learn things, our opinions on things change, right? Like, so we've talked about a bunch that it's not, like, yeah, age doesn't always equal intelligence or, like, but experience. The things that you've lived through in your life often dictate how well you are able to relate to other people, how well it is that you're able to empathize with other people, and I think that that's something that's completely missing from that culture. Like, when I think of frat parties or like frat boys, I always think back to my freshman year at State. I was not in a frat, just to be clear. I was below the level of cool that I felt the need to be in a frat. Like, I knew that even being in a frat wasn't going to make me cool at that point, or like I wasn't cool enough to be on that level. Because I was in a garage.
Can you explain that
right?
again?
Yeah.
He's self-elected to abstain.
Being in a frat wasn't cool.
No. Being cool in a frat, like, you know, like, if you're super cool, if you're a certain level of cool, like here, right, you don't need to be in a frat because you're already cool. If you're here, you're like, oh, if I'm joining this frat, then maybe I can get to here. I was like down here, where even joining a frat was only going to get me like to like here. And so, but I do remember.
Unless it was like one of those Disney movies where a bunch of nerds get together and make an ultimate frat.
Yeah, that was my band. Like, it was 4 of us, and so it wasn't really enough to be a frat.
Were you bass?
No, I was keyboards. Get out of here. Anyways,
that's so seriously.
That's an insult. You don't call me a bass player. No, so like in my freshman year, one of the kids that I went to high school with who did join a frat reached out to me at one point and was like, "Hey, would your band play for our frat party?" It was like their whatever you call it, where they induct all of the new members and stuff like that. And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "We'll pay you $300. You know, you can have all the beer and pizza you want." And we're like, "Great." And so we learned like 3 cover songs. We thought that they would want to hear all of our original stuff other than that. They didn't. They just wanted to hear Weezer's Island in the Sun. Like, we played that probably about 15 times. 10 minutes into the party, they were so drunk they didn't even remember that we'd already played it. So it worked out that way. But at the end of the night, when like the induction ceremony started, all of the pledges had to run through the house butt naked with shaving cream or whipped cream covering their junk. And
now, when you say covering the junk, is it also covering the back door and the nips?
Nope,
or
just the front. Just the front.
That's not
down
enough.
below.
No, they could have done better. They'd been more entertaining.
We got paid our $300, so it was worth it.
Up front, right?
No, at the end of the night, we still got paid.
Oh, that was a risk.
It was, but I mean, like, I knew this kid, so like, you know, I would have called his dad, you know, been like, "Daddy."
Everything about that story sounds sad to me.
Yeah, that was my freshman year at State, so it
now
was
question.
sad.
In your recollection of it, how many of those naked guys were white?
Oh, like all of them. There might
Andre
have been
6 corrected.
No, there might have been one non-white guy. I'd had a couple of beers too.
Technically,
but it
sorry, Chris is corrected. Andre is correct already.
Yeah, Andre was already correct.
Made the statement, and Chris rebutted, and now Chris just got.
I do think
that
statement. I mean, like, I think that bro culture can obviously extend outside of just. But I understand what you're saying when you say it's some white people shit or like some white boy stupid shit. Like,
do you know what I worry about bro culture?
It's like the the like stock trader bros kind of thing, right? Like I think of like Wolf of Wall Street or Boiler Room, Vin Diesel.
I worry about how marketable bro culture is nowadays.
It's very marketable, right?
Yeah, whether it be seeing the random post on TikTok or just seeing the guys like, I have $100,000, let's buy a whole pool of like
Orbeez
toy balls. Orbeez, thank you.
So the thing I would say, I'm not trying.
I hate him so much. Can we do it? Can we add him to the?
He can definitely go on the Who Sucks More list.
I'm not trying to indict. Like, and I know that for the sensitive white males out there, I'm not trying to indict you. I'm just saying, like, you look silly doing it, basically.
Yeah, they're doing
because
it themselves.
You're a carbon copy of a carbon copy of a carbon copy. And I just think that's pathetic. So, for example, I was in San Diego with my son. There was a Garth Brooks concert, right? Shut everything down, man. It was like, we're walking through, like, everything, and we're like, yo, a bar we went to the night before, they're playing country music, so we didn't go there. And my son was like bugging out. He goes, I really hate all these hats. Like, he hated all the cowboy hats. And I'm like, yo, that's their thing. But the irony was, you could see the difference between the older like country fans and the younger country fans. Mm-hmm. How they all dressed the same. They had no personality, no originality. And it's just like, at what point do you... There's a difference between being a trend setter, follower, and just a follower. And I think there's a lot of people that, and bro culture is the epitome of just being a follower, where you don't have an idea or an opinion of why you do or believe what you do or believe. You just do it because the people around you
that's
say
what everybody
they
else
believe
is doing.
Yeah,
and that can be dangerous when they get into the adult world and they're all
like
acting
January
the same way.
6th, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to indict for if there's any white males out there that are feeling super sensitive right now, like the whole world is trying to
go to therapy,
minimize you.
I'm already there.
Get over yourself. and I'll tell you this.
I'm definitely going to talk about this.
By the way, does anybody know the Glue Dolls?
Let me get this one point out. I've been watching I caught up on Vikings, and I started watching Vikings Valhalla and The Last Kingdom. And one thing I started to realize after I watched...
That white people murdered people quite a bit.
Yo, there's something off with England, yo. They hate everybody, yo. So if you're like an English like descendant, it's probably in your DNA just to try to like shit all over like other groups of people.
I got like maybe this much English in me, all right?
My historical teacher in college said that you have to understand England was in the corner... And there was a lot of other countries that wanted what England had, so they always fought over everything.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, maybe it's just I have a deeper thought on that, but I will say that I just think the whole bro culture thing is kind of
don't hide it. I believe in you.
I mean, they got punked by like every country in Scandinavia. They got punked by the. The only way the English like weaseled out of that because the Scots were like they kind of like let off a little bit, and the Scandinavians and Danes kind of just got tired of playing with them, and they betrayed them.
They ran over them until they ran out of money.
But anyway,
right.
Who sucks more?
Yeah, we got to tally it up here. Joe, you want to go first? Bro culture, cancel culture. Who sucks more?
I'm definitely gonna go with bro culture because it thins the line on racism quite a bit, and I'm just not comfortable with it. A bunch of white guys walking around with tiki torches is not a fun time, ever. So
yeah,
I hope they burn their damn hands when they're carrying those things because they forgot to put the proper lid on the wick.
Chris?
Andre, oh, you want me to go?
Here, I'll help them. I'll start it.
Jesus. This is a hard one, I'll be honest. And it's not, I'm not like trying to defend my white brethren.
Nah, attack them.
Because no, like that shit's really annoying. It is. Like, it's really awful to just like generally be lumped in with this other group of morons because of the color of my skin, right? Like, I mean, yeah, no, I know. I know this isn't news to you guys. Like, I get it.
It's just so nice to hear you say it. It's like a unicorn accidentally tripping over a landmine. It's just nice to see.
Okay. I guess I just blew myself up.
What made you think you're a unicorn? You're the landmine.
Oh, shit. I guess I just blew up a unicorn. Yeah! Bro culture, bro! No.
Dude, bro. Excellent.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to go with bro culture.
Yeah, you do.
I think
Yeah,
like cancel
yeah, you
culture.
do.
Cancel culture can be saved at this point if we do the right things. Bro
And it's
culture,
kind of-
there's no point in saving it. It's all garbage.
Cancel culture is kind of dwindling down too. It's kind of because all these companies are having policies against
And
it,
it's
and they're not
lost.
freaking
It's lost
out.
its impact. Like,
Oh, you guys are going to be really surprised by my answer.
no, I'm not.
I think cancel culture sucks more than bro culture.
Okay.
I think bro
I'm not
culture
surprised at
is-
all you would say that.
I think bro culture is baked into our society. I think cancel culture is actually becoming the fodder and the target of extremists of saying everything is cancel culture. If Putin can say that cancel culture is dangerous in Russia, then
No,
So I think you have a good point because if nothing else, what we're seeing now is bro culture embracing cancel culture
Yep.
and using it as its own
Ooh.
tool.
yep.
So
So
really, they are the tools.
they are the tools. So I would say, hey, white guys, buy your Patagonias and wear your
Stop
your,
it.
your stupid.
They're one of
vest
my
and-
customers. Not even like my customers. Like
and grab your
Patagonia's
smart
okay. There's
e-vapes.
But they
there's
actually
way
said they're
worse people
going
out
to
there.
stop selling like their vests with corporate logos on it. So hats off to them. But I do think cancel culture is worse than bro culture, just because it's so easily influenced by outside like forces, and it can be seen as a boogeyman. So
It can be
anyway.
manipulated and has too much power for its own good.
I don't think it has power. I just think it becomes a boogeyman, right?
Yeah.
There's
I mean,
no
look at
such thing as
Disney.
Freddy Krueger, but people are sure as shit scared of Freddy Krueger. So
God, I would invite him over to eat cheesecake just to see him fuck up the cheesecake.
Well,
Like,
So
which
that-
finger does he use to cut it, you know?
all right then. The middle
So
one.
that's all I got. So 2-1. It looks like bro culture sucks more.
Suck more.